In addition to being Lexi's mom, I'm also chair of the fundraising committee for the KAT6 Foundation. And Marjorie, who's our incredible development director, and I are going to talk just very briefly about what we do to help fund all the amazing things that we're doing. So, oops, I'm spontaneously editing the slide. The KAT6 Foundation hosts 2 fundraising events a year. In addition to anytime you want, you can go to the website and there's a little drop-down link. You could do a fundraiser for your birthday or your anniversary. But our 2 main fundraising events are the Catwalk, which this year will be in September, and our annual appeal, which runs the months of November and December. So please mark your calendars. The Catwalk was started by Amy Wrightson, and it's an amazing event. Can people raise your hands if you've hosted a Catwalk, so we can just get a sense of who's done it? If anybody's curious, reach out to anybody here who's done a Catwalk. We have a toolkit, it's incredible. It tells you every step to go through. You can do a Catwalk that is virtual, or you can do a Catwalk in person. Last year, our Catwalk raised $165,000. This year, we're setting the goal at $150,000 because we're going to be putting some of our energy into our annual appeal. This year, Katie Bader, who's not here, is going to be chairing the Catwalk. Her information is going to come up at the end, so please mark it down. She can answer any Catwalk questions you have. So basically, it's not showing up.
No,
Oh, that's weird. This is the wrong deck, that's why.
Yeah, all right.
All right, let me see if I can... Sorry, folks. Somehow we have the wrong deck. Oh, here we go.
There we go.
So, anyway, just apologies. Basically, if you want to host a Catwalk, you can do it in person, gather your community together, meet at a local meeting place, and you get people to donate to come, and you have a team, and we send you t-shirts, and you can get a banner. If you don't feel ready to do an in-person walk, I've always done it virtually, send emails to all my friends and family, ask them to host the walk. It's a great way, if people don't know that your kid has KAT6, it's a great way of kind of sharing with them what your life is like. And again, we're going to be emailing you after this conference, and we will send you information about the Catwalk. Marjorie, you want to just say briefly about the annual appeal?
I'm going to just briefly talk about the annual appeal. Most people here know about the Catwalk, and what I just wanted to talk about very briefly is... Okay. I was going to say anybody that's interested in hosting a Catwalk, please let us know, because it's a lot of fun. But in addition, there is our annual appeal, and most nonprofits, do have an annual appeal end of the year giving. The KAT6 Foundation had not been doing that. We relied on the Catwalk, which was phenomenal and is phenomenal, but we also realized that we need to have another source of funding. So the Catwalk is done, as Karen was saying, September last year, year before September, October, and people felt it was too early to then go and ask for a donation for the annual appeal. So we pivoted, and we wanted to figure out a way to maximize funding opportunities. And by targeting larger donors, corporations, foundations, those who may be interested in funding specific programs or initiatives, this was a way that we thought we could to actually bring in more funds. Last year was very successful. Amy and Kevin Young created the Jack Young Empowered Grant Fund, and the Ginsburg family created the ASARIF Research Initiative Fund. It was very, very successful, a lot of work, but we learned something. We reached out to people through Zoom calls, we made presentations, we educated prospects about the KAT6 Foundation, and we asked them for their input, and that further engaged them. Excuse me. We found that people give larger donations when it is a targeted and a personal ask. Very important, a personal ask. So ideally, if you have the proper cultivation, if you're doing, you're able to have the cultivation and you have the time, you will be able to leverage a higher gift. Some of these endeavors, as I said, were very successful, and in order for us to continue these conferences that you are today, as Jordan said, and expand our research, providing power grants, advocacy work, which you heard of, educating physicians and the community at large, we must continue to grow our fundraising, and especially now, and most of you know, our CZI grant has ended, and our needs are greater than ever. I just want to also put a shout out. I put the Blanches, Lindsay and Colin Blanche, on the spot. They were very generous for this annual appeal. I called them up and I spoke to them, and I said, would you meet on a Zoom call? And they told their story. I thought, what a wonderful way to get more engaged with the foundation, to tell their story, and they stepped right up. So please, all of you, reach out to us. We won't even put you up here, I promise.
Can I just say one more?
Yeah.
Just to clarify, if you're thinking to yourself, oh, I really love fundraising and I want to be part of fundraising. If you feel like your community are people who will make gifts in the, you could gather a lot of people who are making gifts in the $0 to $250 range, then you think about the catwalk. If you think that you have a community where people can be giving gifts of $500 to $500,000, then you think about the annual appeal. Or maybe you have a combination of both. I just spoke to somebody today, Sarah, who's going to do a catwalk in San Diego. Amazing. And she said, oh, my aunt works for Home Depot, and she has 100% corporate sponsorship, whatever my aunt gives, they'll give 100%. And we can also cultivate now, calling Home Depot and seeing if they want to sponsor our catwalk. So if you know of a corporation, if you have a friend or a family member who's part of a business that might want to do something, or you have a friend who is a person of means who's, you can reach out to Marjorie and I. We're not hard sells. We really just want to make relationships, make people feel good, and help them feel good about supporting us. So put your thinking caps on and be in touch with us.
Just one thing, for the most part, we do not ask for money. If you would give us a name, we do not ask for money in the beginning. If you tell us, you give us the names, and we get to know them, we cultivate them, we do these presentations, which have been extremely well received. And then when the timing's right, they're touch points. And then maybe over 6 months, a year and a half, then when the time is right, we would ask them for a gift. But we work with you. Don't ever feel that you'll give a name and we're going to go call them up and embarrass you or make you uncomfortable in any way. So that's it.
Yeah, let me just pile on the presentation that Marjorie and Karen touched on. So it's really educational. So if you have an individual or a company or an organization you think could potentially be a future donor or supporter of us, reach out to Karen or Marjorie or me or Emil, and we're happy to give a 10-slide overview presentation about what we are as a foundation and a community, just to educate them if you don't feel comfortable doing that yourself. And I think that's the right first step.
Right.
And then down the road, they're engaged, they're aware, and then it goes from there in terms of future support conversations.
And we've gotten, just with that, Joe, we've gotten phenomenal feedback. Like, we ask for their input, and they give us input. Whether we like it or not, it's very good, and it helps us. So all of you, give us your input. Put it on that piece of paper today.
Thank you.
Thank you.